Hey Falcons. So today we're just going to talk about a couple things. First, we're going to look at research questions and just some basic tips on how to narrow them down and to really find subtopics and search terms that will help you in the process. So, moving right along, what's the point? A research question keeps you focused, and you will find a ton of information out there on your topic. Not all of it will matter, but every time you explore information, ask yourself, does this help me answer the question? So if you are researching amusement parks and you suddenly find something on the most awesome fried food that they're going to be offering at the state fair, ask yourself, is this going to help me answer my question about amusement parks? If you're focusing on roller coasters and rides, then the answer is no, and you need to put that to the side and just keep on moving. If the answer is yes, because you are focusing on food and amusement parks, then yeah, that's going to help you a lot. So just keep asking yourself, what is the point of this research? And is what I'm reading going to help me? You need to be able to relate it, which means your question should be related to your topic. This sounds really simple, but honestly, many times this is the hardest part about projects. Really trying to stay focused on one specific topic and not say, ooh, this is cool, ooh, this is cool, but just say, this is what I'm talking about, and really only talking about that one concept. Simple exploring, what that means is even if you know a little bit about your subject, you need to do some exploring first because that may actually help you come up with another topic you like better or find something specific about the topic you already know that you want to explore further. Or it could even say, open you up to a whole other possibility. So if your topic isn't something that maybe other people are going to be that interested in, it may help you find like an angle that's going to get them really excited about what you're talking about. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so not too narrow, not too broad. By that I mean for too broad would be just saying I want to research music. Music's a big topic. What is it about music you want to know? So then you might say I want to research rap music. Okay. Do you want to research old school rap, new school, producers or how rap is used in movies? What is it about rap music you want to know? On the other side of that token is being too narrow. And the example I use for this is how many songs has Cardi B made? That's not research. That's a 30-second Google search. And by that I mean if you can go online and find the answer to your question in 30 seconds or less on Google, that's not research. You need something that has some meat to it. So it may have different facts and opinions. You need a balance. It may have lots of different perspectives, and you've got to figure out the one that has the most weight. There needs to be, again, some meat to it. If you can just do a quick Google search and answer the question, then why don't we just do it and not listen to what you have to say? So think about your question and not being too broad and not being too narrow. Be very specific with your wording. So we're going to try out some examples below. So my question is, rap music a bad influence? So think about this question. Is rap music a bad influence? Is this a good research question, a bad research question, or is there ways to improve it, or is it already just absolutely perfect on its own? Okay, so if we're talking about is rap music a bad influence, I would have to ask, what rappers are you talking about? What audiences are listening to this rap music, and who's deciding what's bad? By this I mean nowadays there are Christian rappers, Disney rappers, there are guys rapping inside country music. There's all kinds of different rappers. So who exactly are you talking about? Because a Disney rapper is obviously going to be a little different than, say, Kendrick Lamar. It's going to be totally different. So you have who is influencing. So is it a bad influence on adults? Is it a bad influence on different cultures? So, like, if you go to different countries, say like Iran or somewhere, they have very specific rules about what you can and cannot listen to. So, you need to be thinking about who your audience is and what this research question is going to do for them. So when you start asking about, is it bad, that's also something you need to think about in terms of, does it cause something to happen, or is it because it's just against a religion or a public policy? So when you're thinking about those search terms and how to change those words, think about the question again. Is rap music a bad influence? And let's talk about this and see how we could change those terms now that we know who the audience is and what these words really mean. So, is rap music a bad influence? In my case, I would change rap to be more specific. So, I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar. Is Kendrick Lamar's music? And then a bad influence. So, bad, I might change to aggressive behaviors. Does it cause them to incite violence? Does it cause them to yell or scream or do other things? If you're talking about influence, well, it's not influencing an 80-year-old woman. More than likely, it's going to be influencing teens. So that's who I'm going to focus on. So when I start rewording my question, I'm going to be more specific and say, does Kendrick Lamar's music cause aggressive behavior in teens? On the same thing, if you're worried about bad influence, you could completely change this around and just talk about, is Kendrick Lamar's music actually supporting poetry in school, could support poetry in schools? There's a lot of different ways and angles you could say that. So you could completely flip that bad influence and make it a positive question. One more quick one. So this is another practice session, and if we're doing this in the group, then we'll have a little bit more time. So if we're talking about making money on social media, what search terms could you use, or what words could you swap around when we're looking for information or we're looking at subtopics? So, making money on social media. For me, I might change some of those terms. So, what is the income of a YouTube artist? So, making money on social media. Well, social media is YouTube, and making money could be careers. It could be, like they said, how do you get an income? If you want to be even more specific, you could talk about Kim Kardashian and how much does she make from Twitter or Snapchat. Again, you're talking about making money in social media. So, how does who do what on which platform? So, I'm filling in the blanks as I'm going. And I might change that to, what is the income of a YouTube artist? Can you have a career as a YouTuber? Or how much does Kim Kardashian make from Twitter or Snapchat? Another category is significant but relatable. You may love all things hair, but the person next to you might not. So your topic should be important to you, but you also need to consider framing those topics in a way that makes others interested. So if you're interested in hair and you're thinking, okay, nobody else in the room is, I could say, what is it that's going to draw them in? What is something they are interested in that I could combine these concepts? So I might add into my topic rich and famous people, because a lot of people enjoy looking at tabloids or paparazzi pictures of rich and famous people. So if I'm talking about current hair trends of rich and famous people, that could be a very specific topic that is exciting to me because it's hair, but it could also be exciting to your readers because it's rich and famous people. So consider that you want it to be significant to you, but you want it to also be relatable to the people who are reading yours. Okay, things to avoid. So you really want to avoid questions that can't be answered. Maybe later on, college on, you can research some of those really out there questions. But for the purpose of school and just getting the work done, you really need to focus on something that you can get a good amount of research on and come up with some type of conclusion. So questions like what happens when you die or what is it like in the next universe, you're not likely to get many quality resources and certainly not going to get any definitive answers. So think about those questions. If that's something that you're really passionate about, that's okay, But let's focus on narrowing the question into a phrase that we can answer. So if you're talking about what's it like in the next universe, well, we can't necessarily say that, but we can look at what is the furthest object we have identified in space. So that might be, until recently, a specific star. If you've been watching the news lately, though, they have actual photographic evidence of what they believe to be a black hole. So that's something new and exciting you could talk about that's in the far reaches of the universe. So you can still research that topic, but you need to think about your questions in terms of finding an answer. If it is a question that is so open that you're not going to be able to give a conclusion, then you failed the research project because you're not going to be able to answer that question. Boring. So, some topics have been done a million times. If it's what you truly want to do, then so be it. But I would strongly urge you to consider putting a spin on that topic. So you can still choose that topic. So if you're wanting Lincoln, that's great. But try to find something that would be interesting to most people that they maybe don't know or is a concept that isn't talked about very often. Or like we talked about with hair, just trying to find something that will draw people in so they will listen. And last but not least, we're going to talk about topic finders, and we're going to do some practice in just a second. And topic finders you can find in a lot of databases. And sometimes they're going to be topic finders. I believe I've seen them called webs. I've also seen them called web crawlers. They're different things for different databases. But for Gale, which is what we're going to be using, they call it a topic finder. And this is a tool that's going to help you find subtopics. And what that means is, so if you said rap music, it's going to help you say, okay, what about rap music? Do you want to know specific people? Do you want to know about recording and how that process works? Do you want to know about how they make their money? So on and so on. So we're going to try out Topic Finder and help y'all see all these subcategories, all the areas within your question that you can explore in order to make those questions a little more focused. So you're going to need to go to your Birdville portal at this time. If you're still with me, you need to go to your Birdville portal and you'll pull up the next video in line, which is Topic Finders.